to your email or phone.
And Travis Best scored all three of Miami's field goals in the overtime period to beat Phoenix 100-90. And in the NHL, Brian Giante scored at 2:51 of overtime to give the Devils a 1-0 victory over the Flyers. That's your sports page. I'm Air Force Sergeant Tony Castro, AFN Sports.
PCSing can be especially difficult for children. Leaving friends behind and being the new face in school is never easy. The Department of Defense Education Activity has a website that gives parents and students a chance to find out more about DOD schools worldwide. You can also find job opportunities within the site or obtain information on your new base. Check out dodea.osd.mil to find the answers to any questions you may have. Again, the site is dodea.osd.mil.
What's that, girl? Yes, we're moving soon. Yes, to the States. Health certificate? Rabies vaccination? Don't worry about it. Okay, I'll look into it. Customs office? Vet clinic? I could use a walk. Let's go.
Lifelong learning is about personal growth. It's also about career enhancement and obtaining the credentials needed to enter new career fields. The University of Oklahoma offers 8 graduate degree programs in Europe. One is likely to fit your schedule and your lifelong learning objectives. Stop by your local education center to find out more about the University of Oklahoma's graduate degree programs.
Parents, here's your chance to directly influence your child's education. Take the DODS Customer Satisfaction Survey now through December 13th. The survey will be available on the web at odedodea.edu. That address again is odedodea.edu. Parents without access to the internet will have other opportunities to complete the survey. DODS Customer Satisfaction Survey now through December 13th. Help DODS help your child.
This is Earth and Sky for Tuesday, December 3rd. It'll be around midnight tonight in the U.S., but daylight on the other side of the world tomorrow when the world we're standing on lines up with the sun and moon.
When the Earth, sun, and moon align, shadows fall on bodies in space. Earth's shadow always extends more than 400,000 kilometers or 250,000 miles into space. During a lunar eclipse, Earth's shadow brushes the moon. If you're standing on the side of Earth facing the moon at that time, you see the shadow as a dark bite out of the moon's face. In the slow, steady way of worlds moving in space, Earth's shadow takes a couple of hours to cover the moon completely and then withdraw.
In a solar eclipse, the moon comes between the Earth and sun, and it's the moon itself, not a shadow, that blots the sun from view. Still, a solar eclipse involves a shadow too. The moon's shadow sweeps across Earth, and those in the shadow's path see the eclipse. The final eclipse this year, a solar eclipse, will take place tomorrow in the southern hemisphere. The path of the moon's shadow will begin in the South Atlantic tomorrow morning, cross southern Africa and the Indian Ocean, and end at sunset in southern Australia.
For links to more about this last eclipse of 2002, come to today's show at earthsky.org. Special thanks today to Research Corporation, a foundation for the advancement of science. We're Block and Bird for Earth and Sky.
The Osgood File. I'm Charles Osgood. You don't just come out now and announce that you're running for president. What you do is what Senator John Kerry, Democrat of Massachusetts, has now done. You announce that you're raring back to run.
I've made a decision to file a formal exploratory committee during the course of this week.
Under the new campaign finance law, Senator John Kerry can now start raising the $200 million limit. Kerry is the richest member of Congress. He and his wife have hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth, but he's not going to finance his campaign out of his own pocket. He'll do that the old-fashioned way.
I'm going to file this week an exploratory committee, a formal committee, and I'm going to begin the process of organizing a national campaign.
So technically he's not a candidate yet, but as he said on NBC's Meet the Press yesterday,
obviously the formal announcement of candidacy is down the road some months. And I hope, indeed, I'll be able to do that, but I've got to do the work to make that happen.
A much-decorated Vietnam War vet, Kerry voted against the Persian Gulf War a decade ago, but gives what he calls qualified support to President Bush's effort to disarm Iraq.
I think it would be very dangerous for the United States to go it alone in Iraq under any circumstances, except if there were a clear, imminent threat to our nation.
Obviously, he can't run saying he agrees with President Bush about everything.
I think the country is in a very different place than many people in Washington think it is, and I think certainly than this administration believes it is.
First off the blocks, Kerry wants first dibs on the word security.
There's a deep anxiety in the American people about security. I mean, put it all under the word security. Job security, income security, retirement security, health security.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
I'm Joe Zimmer. I like working with my hands, but VA helped me build a future.
My name is Shirley Moran. I'm a teacher. With VA's help, I made the grade.
I'm Sergeant Calvin Jeter, and this is our first home. VA helped make our dream come true.
These veterans have all taken advantage of veterans benefits. Transition assistance, education and training, home loan guarantees, disability, insurance, and health care are available. Get full details from your education office or family center.
Good morning. You're listening to Morning Newswatch. I'm Chief Petty Officer Jacqueline Keel with a look at your European weather forecast. Germany, mostly cloudy skies with light fog and rain. Highs will be in the 40s. The Benelux, mostly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers this afternoon. Highs in the mid-40s. The United Kingdom will have cloudy skies. Highs will be in the low 50s. Spain, partly cloudy skies with highs in the low 60s. Italy, cloudy with rain, becoming mostly cloudy this afternoon. Highs will be in the 50s. Turkey, mostly cloudy skies with rain showers this afternoon. Highs in the mid-60s. Croatia and Bosnia, cloudy with isolated rain showers this morning. Highs will be in the low 50s. Kosovo will have cloudy skies with rain and light fog. Highs will be in the low 50s. And Bagram, sunny skies with highs in the mid-60s. And today at your U.S. Military Community Bank, $1 buys 0.9875 euros, 1.41 Swiss francs, 7.10 Danish kroner, and 1 British pound will cost you $1.58.
On the Rise Tuesday, I'm Patrick Singleton at Bloomberg Radio in Tokyo. We're a few minutes away from the final hour of trading here in Japan, and chip-related shares such as Advantas and Tokyo Electron are rising after Texas Instruments said fourth quarter profits will top its own estimates. And exporters like Canada are seeing gains after the yen had its biggest drop in 2 months against the dollar. A weaker yen makes their goods less expensive overseas. The Nikkei 225 has added 0.5% to 92.16. Over in Korea, chip-related stocks like Samsung Electronics are rising after Lehman Brothers raised the company's earning forecasts. The Kospi climbed 0.8% to 735. Over in Taiwan, the picture is much the same. Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing is leading gains on the positive news out from Texas Instruments. The weighted indexes soared 2.6% to 47.93. Meanwhile, markets in Singapore and Hong Kong are a little changed at the moment, while in Australia, the ASX has fallen 0.4% to 30.72. Right now, $1 US buys you 124.66 yen. And that's a Bloomberg.
Did you know you can use your federal write-in absentee ballot to vote in all federal elections? Yep, from Bahrain you can vote for your congressman back in Buffalo. Or from Insulet, you can select a new senator for Indiana. Of course, you must request an absentee ballot from your local election officials back home. If it doesn't arrive in time, however, your voting assistance officer can help you get your vote where it needs to go. By using the federal write-in absentee ballot, it'll get your vote from Vicenza to Virginia, Okinawa to Oklahoma.
The road to war, where is it leading, and how many Americans are traveling that highway? I'm Jim Hickey, and this is the ABC News Journal. In the tiny Persian Gulf nation of Qatar, men and women in American military uniforms are settling in. Officially, they are the forward element to set up the main headquarters for training exercises this month. But as the New York Times puts it, this is no ordinary training exercise. It is a rehearsal for command and control to wage war with Iraq. Make no mistake, the Pentagon is on the road to war and is waiting for the president to give the word. The president is waiting for Saddam Hussein to make one mistake, just one, with the team of international weapons inspectors now on the ground in Iraq. Against that background, voices opposed to war seem to be growing louder. The Washington Post reports a wide array of groups are questioning the government's rationale for military confrontation. They include labor groups, religious groups, veterans groups, business groups, even an anti-war group led by relatives of some of the people who died in the September 11th attacks. Yet a recent ABC News poll shows strong support for war with Iraq. 64% say they would go along with military action, with more than half, 56%, saying they would support an invasion with ground troops, even though it might mean many casualties. I'm Jim Hickey, ABC News.
Zsa Zsa recovering. I'm Myra Lopez with the Entertainment Report.
She has some broken bones. She had a lot of stitches around her body.
That's Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband. He says the actress has received stitches to close wounds to her head, hands, arms, and legs. He says her lungs, heart, and brain were all okay.
Am I really rare? I don't know anymore.
Natasha McElhone says she likes her new movie Solaris because seeing it is not a mindless experience.
It asks questions, and it's provocative and challenging, and some of it incomprehensible at first, and I love that. I don't like being given things on a plate and told what I must feel and what I must think.
Delightfully tangy, yet robust.
David Hyde Pierce says even though his character is animated in the new movie Treasure Planet, they somehow managed to really put him into the character.
It's not a particular gesture, it's not a particular facial expression, it's just they take this creature that they've already conceived and somehow they instill it with the essence of who you are as an actor.
Pierce does the voice of Dr. Doppler in the movie. I'm Myra Lopez.
And good morning, Europe. 6:59 Central European Time. I'm Army Sergeant Hank Minitrez alongside Air Force Sergeant Steve German. You're listening to AFN's Morning Newswatch on the Power Network. Good morning, Steve. You got some wacky news for us?
Yeah, I love these dumb criminal stories. A 24-year-old man is being charged with attempted murder after he fired a shot at a passing police car. The officers heard a gunshot as they passed a stopped car, and after calling for backup, they approached the car and arrested the two occupants. During the arrest, though, one of the men admitted firing one shot at the police, but did it because he needed them to help fix a tire. He was trying to get their attention. Well, I think he got it.
Definitely one way to get the attention of law enforcement officials. Shoot at them.
Yeah, that'll get their attention.
Coming up, we've got headlines for you at the top of the hour. Stay tuned to AFN's Morning Newswatch.
Get you arrested, too.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock Central European Time. This is AFN's Morning Newswatch. I'm Army Sergeant Hank Minitrez.
Live from the AFN News Center in Frankfurt, Germany, I'm Air Force Sergeant Steve German. Good morning, Europe. Here are the headlines.
UN weapons inspectors took a lot of time yesterday to search Iraq's Missile Nerve Center. 4 years ago, the Karama Ballistics Design Plant was blasted by a U.S. air attack. The plant's deputy director says inspectors didn't find anything yesterday. Hiro Yuki with the UN team says inspectors have not met with any Iraqi resistance so far.
All our inspectors were able to gain immediate access to the sites they wanted to inspect, so that's where we are.
It was the fifth day of UN weapons inspections in Iraq. A second UN team has arrived in Baghdad. They are nuclear weapons inspectors.
And Saddam Hussein is up against the clock. In 1 week, he must present documentation on Iraq's biochemical and nuclear weapons. CBS News correspondent Bill Plant says the White House can see Iraq's in a no-win situation.
UN inspectors may be focused on disarming Iraq, but the Bush administration is still set on regime change. They've made it very clear that Saddam Hussein is damned if he does admit to having weapons of mass destruction, and still damned if he doesn't.
White House aides say there is concern if Iraq is winning the early public relations battle by making it look like it's cooperating with the inspectors.
U.S. warplanes bombed an air defense site in northern Iraq yesterday after being fired upon by Iraqi forces while patrolling a no-fly zone. The U.S. European Command, based in Stuttgart, Germany, says Iraqi forces fired anti-aircraft artillery at coalition planes near the northern city of Mosul. Coalition aircraft responded in self-defense to the Iraqi attacks by dropping precision-guided munitions. Iraq considers the patrols, which were set up following the '91 Persian Gulf War, a violation of its sovereignty and frequently shoots at the American and British planes. The no-fly zones were set up over southern and northern Iraq to protect the Kurdish and Shiite Muslim minorities.
Afghanistan's main international supporters are pledging to continue the creation of a new national army. At an international conference in Germany, Afghan President Hamid Karzai announced his nation's fledgling army will be expanded into a force of up to 70,000 troops.
We have made a decision to have an army that is small, effective,
well paid, and in the service of the nation.
Delegates from Afghanistan and 31 other countries resolved to keep Afghanistan on track for its next benchmarks, a constitution and elections by mid-2004. The meeting was held at the same Hilltop Hotel near Bonn, where delegates reached a historic agreement last year setting up a post-Taliban government in Afghanistan. Morning Newswatch time is now 3 minutes past the hour. Morning Newswatch continues.
A statement attributed to al-Qaeda claims responsibility for last week's car bombing of an Israeli-owned hotel in Kenya and the attempt to shoot down an Israeli airliner the same day. The statement posted on an Islamic website called Thursday's attacks a Ramadan greeting to the Palestinian people and referred to the al-Qaeda attacks against U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania in 1998, which killed 231 people, including 12 Americans, and wounded more than 5,000.
Lawyers for detainees being held without charges in the war on terrorism asked for help from a federal appeals court. The AP's Ed Donahue has more.
16 people are being held without charges at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The lawyers asked that they be allowed to hire lawyers, be charged, or be released.
A cruise ship, almost 200 sick passengers, is back in port in Miami. In Miami, they've come down with a gastrointestinal virus on the Carnival cruise ship Fascination. The symptoms are similar to what made passengers on other cruise ships sick earlier. Medical Director Steve Williams of the Carnival Cruise Line says it's highly unlikely terrorists would use this kind of virus.
If you were a potential bioterrorist thinking to choose an agent to inflict harm, nor what would be your last possible choice. Firstly, because the symptoms usually last no more than 24 to 36 hours.
Passengers will not receive a refund because most got sick late Monday, which was the last full day of the cruise.
Space Shuttle Endeavour undocked from the International Space Station yesterday and headed for home with 1 American and 2 Russians who spent the past 6 months orbiting the outpost. Endeavour is due back on Earth tomorrow. Those storms are forecast for Cape Canaveral and could delay the long overdue homecoming for the crew.
Thank you, Steve. In your weather watch this morning, north and central Europe, mostly cloudy skies today, a chance of rain showers, temperatures reaching into the 40s. Southern Europe, Spain and Italy, partly cloudy, becoming mostly cloudy, temps in the 50s and 60s. And in Turkey, mostly cloudy today, rain showers for you as well, highs in the 60s.
And in today's exchange rates, $1 US buys 0.9875 euro. It's now 5 minutes past the hour.
Continuing on with headlines from around the globe in this morning's World Wrap, despite North Korea's open breach of its promise to stop pursuing nuclear weapons, the Bush administration is quietly paving the way for negotiations that might give the reclusive country oil, food, or other aid in exchange for a verifiable shutdown of its bomb facilities.
The challenges President Hamid Karzai continues to face in trying to extend his authority beyond the capital in Kabul, Afghanistan, have been highlighted by problems he has encountered after firing 24 regional officials last month. In a few cases, the officials accused of corruption or incompetence have refused to step down, or they left after their deputies were promoted, raising questions about whether the ousted officials might still be in charge.
Ivory Coast's army claimed yesterday to have retaken the city of Man in the rich cocoa-producing west, driving out rebels that seized the city 5 days earlier. Ivory Coast has been crippled by fighting that has killed hundreds and sent thousands fleeing since September. And that's your World Wrap to 6 minutes past the hour.
In Rotterdam, the Netherlands, the lead suspect in the trial of 4 suspected al-Qaeda terrorists described himself as a petty criminal and says he had no knowledge of plans to attack U.S. targets in Europe. Jerome Cortalier, a French convert to Islam, says his criminal activity was limited to selling counterfeit watches, fake identification papers, and stolen credit cards. He's accused of running a terrorist support network out of a Rotterdam apartment to assist in strikes against the American embassy in Paris and a military base in Belgium where U.S. munitions are stored.
News here on the home front. U.S. European Command has a new face. The Marines handed some operations over to the Air Force. In a manner of speaking, Specialist Eric Whitmer has the story.
In Stuttgart, Marine General Carlton Fulford turned over the U.S. European Command Deputy Commander Watch to Air Force General Charles Wald. The Relieving the Watch ceremony is based on a Navy tradition. Starting with Admiral Steve Abbott, who General Fulford replaced in 2000, the ceremony was Admiral Abbott's contribution as the first naval deputy commander for EUCOM to insert a maritime flavor and contribute to the jointness of the command. The deputy commander is second to the commander of U.S. EUCOM and is geographically positioned to focus on the day-to-day operations of U.S. forces across the command's 93-country area of responsibility. General Wald's previous position was the Deputy Chief of Staff for Air and Space Operations, Headquarters U.S. Air Force, Washington, D.C. From Stuttgart, Germany, Specialist Derek Whitmer, AFN News.
An apology today from the governor of Oregon, Governor John Kitsaber, for more than 2,500 people forcibly sterilized in his state from 1917 to 1983.
Time has come to apologize for the misdeeds that resulted from widespread misconceptions, from ignorance, and alas, from bigotry.
Targets of the state's eugenics law included girls in reform school, mental patients, and poor women. Senator Kitsaber said, "Our hearts are heavy for the pain you endured."
There are more than 120 million cell phone owners in America, and sometimes it seems everyone is behind the wheel of the car near you, paying no attention whatsoever. CBS News correspondent Sandra Hughes says there's a new study out, and you guessed it, it's dangerous.
Harvard University's Center for Risk Analysis studied existing information on deaths and injuries, estimating cell phone use by motorists is causing 2,600 deaths a year. That's up from just 1,000 2 years ago. 570,000 injuries a year and 1.5 million instances of property damage are also blamed on cell phone use.
The cell phone industry questions the Harvard study, saying data is sketchy and not the worst distractions, suggesting maybe changing the CD player or dealing with the kids in the back seat is more distracting than using a cell phone.
Maybe you're in college or your kids are, or more importantly, planning to go. Then listen up. The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to take on affirmative action. CBS News correspondent Bob Fuss says the court has agreed to tell your school how much weight, if any, it may assign to your race in its admissions policy.
In 1978, the Supreme Court said colleges couldn't use quotas for minority students, but left open what they could do to encourage diversity on campus. Civil rights leaders, including Jocelyn Fry, hope now the court will affirm affirmative action.
We're looking forward to the Supreme Court clarifying once and for all the important role that affirmative action can and has and will continue to play.
Kurt Levy, whose group represents the white students who sued the University of Michigan, wants the court to draw the line.
Racial preferences and admissions have really gone to the extreme.
Courts in different states have ruled differently on the issue, creating confusion for universities and prospective students.
And when AFN Morning Newswatch continues, we'll have today's European weather forecast, U.S. dollar exchange rates, along with business and financial news. And that's all coming up. It's 10 past the hour. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Heidelberg is a beautiful, peaceful city here by the Neckar River. Well, all of that changed in 1981. U.S. Army Europe's commander was attacked by terrorists on his way to work. A rocket-propelled grenade was fired into his automobile. Fortunately, the general survived. If it can happen to one of our senior leaders, it can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Force protection, it's everyone's responsibility.
Just because you need a passport to travel to most places doesn't mean you have to travel far to get one. Now, most installations have a passport office staffed with a passport agent. They help fill out the forms and ensure that your application packet is complete. When your passport is issued by the consulate or embassy, they will send your passport to your servicing passport office via military courier or registered mail. Once it arrives, you will be notified that your passport is ready for pickup.
WIC Overseas is a community-based DoD program that involves quality of life of troops and their families. So what does that mean? Fact.
WIC Overseas assists families with nutritional needs.
Fact.
1 out of every 4 new mothers participate in WIC.
Fact.
WIC provides supplemental foods, nutritional education, counseling, and healthcare referrals.
Fact.
WIC is a cost-effective investment in health and nutrition.
Fact.
WIC offices in Europe are ready to help you.
Call DSN 496-6328. For an office near you. WIC, we're there for fans.
See you tomorrow. I'm taking off.
Okay, see ya.
Why are you always the last one to leave the office?
I have to punch in at my other job.
I don't get it. You don't even leave your desk.
This PC is my virtual office. Cyberspace, baby.
You mean you run a business on your government computer?
You bet I do.
Because that would be wrong.
Correct. Using your taxpayer-provided government computer for personal gain is abuse. U.S. Army Europe policy says don't do it. If you see someone else do it, tell them to stop or notify your Information Assurance Security Officer.
12 minutes past the top of the hour. AFN's Morning News Watch continues. I'm Air Force Sergeant Steve German with a look at your weather forecast for today. Bagram, Afghanistan, sunny skies today, highs in the mid-60s. Germany, mostly cloudy skies with light fog this morning and rain, highs in the 40s. The Benelux, you can expect mostly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers this afternoon, highs in the mid-40s. The United Kingdom, cloudy skies and fair winds, highs in the low 50s. In Spain, good morning, partly cloudy skies, highs in the low 60s. Norway, cloudy with moderate gusts and snow, highs in the 20s, lows in the 10s tonight. In Italy, cloudy with rain, mostly cloudy in the afternoon, highs in the 50s. In Turkey, mostly cloudy with rain showers in the afternoon, highs in the mid-60s. Hungary, cloudy with rain and fog, highs in the mid-40s. Croatia and Bosnia, you can expect cloudy skies with isolated rain showers in the morning, highs in the low 50s. And in Kosovo today, cloudy skies with rain and light fog, highs in the low 50s. Now we'll look at your business and financial news. Here's Army Sergeant Hank Minitrez. Good Tuesday morning, Hank.
Happy Tuesday to you as well, Steve, and good morning, Europe. A strong start to the holiday shopping season sent stocks soaring briefly yesterday with the Dow Jones Industrials climbing above 9,000 for the first time since summer, only to be brought down by another disappointing economic report. Prices were mixed, with tech stocks again one of the market's strongest sectors. Stocks fell back following a weaker than expected reading on manufacturing. Analysts say investors also second-guessed the weekend's retail sales figures, wondering if the strength was artificial. The Dow closed down 33.52 at 88.62.57. The Nasdaq Composite rose 6 to 1484.78, and the S&P 500 fell 178 down to 934.53. And today at your U.S. Military Community Bank, $1 buys 0.9875 euros, 1.41 Swiss franc, 7.10 Danish kroner, and 1 British pound will cost you $1.58. Some other interbank rates for currencies not available at Community Bank. $1 US buys 1,498,541 Turkish lira, 31.04 Czech Republic crown, 239.12 Hungarian forints, and 4.01 Polish zloty.
Thank you, Hank. The following Drive to Arrive message is provided to you by the United States Army Europe. During this rainy winter season, hydroplaning can cause your car to be difficult to handle, even if it is equipped with the best tires. If you're driving too fast, the front tires cannot displace the water rapidly enough, and they will plane across the top of the water. Contact with the road is lost, and the vehicle can neither be steered nor braked effectively. If you should happen to find yourself hydroplaning, take your foot off the gas pedal and hold your steering wheel in the direction of travel. And remember, please drive to arrive. It's 15 minutes past the top of the hour. Stay with us when AFN's Morning News Watch continues. We'll have some news closer to home here in UCOM. Here's your sports page.
Now, the AFN Sports Page.
Rice and Brown lead Raiders victory. Hello, everyone. Steve Honey reporting. In Monday Night Football, the Raiders fought off the Jets 26-20. Jerry Rice caught the go-ahead touchdown pass for Oakland. Tim Brown made history. He got his 1,000th career reception. The Raiders now play the Chargers on Sunday with the AFC West Division lead at stake. The loss stopped the Jets' chance to tie the Dolphins and Patriots for the AFC East lead. In one other NFL note, St. Louis quarterback Kurt Warner will miss at least 2 games. He has a hairline fracture in his throwing hand. Rams coach Mike Martz ordered Warner to have x-rays taken. Warner had trouble gripping the ball in Sunday's loss to Philadelphia. Warner missed nearly 2 months while recovering from a broken right pinky. Miami remains atop the BCS standings, 48/100ths of a point ahead of Ohio State. The Hurricanes need a win over Virginia Tech this weekend to earn the right to face the Buckeyes for the national championship at the Fiesta Bowl. The most successful football coach in Texas A&M history has been pushed off the sidelines. R.C. Slocum says he's been fired by school president Robert M. Gates after 14 seasons and a school record 123 victories. Another close game between 2 Atlantic Division rivals. The Devils tripped up the Flyers 1-0 in overtime. Brian Giunta tapped the game winner.
Devils come to center. Patrick Elias on the left wing. In the Philadelphia ice. Left circle. In front. Giunta shoots and scores! Brian Giunta deflects it in behind Roman Czechmatic. And the Devils win in overtime on Brian Giunta's 5th goal of the season.
John Hennessy on WABC Radio. New Jersey goalie Martin Brodeur liked the way this road trip ended.
The last 2 games been in overtime. Big wins for us, so definitely it's good. You know, we've been on the road and we've played the Western Conference team, so coming back in our own conference was important for us to get some points out of them. And now we, passed in the standings, so hopefully we'll be able to, keep them behind us for a while.
Brodeur made 26 saves. The Devils have won 3 in a row. This victory lifted New Jersey into first place, snapping a tie with Philadelphia and idle Pittsburgh. The Fighting Irish crafted an upset on the college hardwood. Notre Dame beat number 13 Marquette 92-71. Chris Thomas had a great game for Notre Dame.
I think the lights were on. Our team was pumped up for the game, and I think this was a great opportunity for us, and we made the most of it.
Thomas was 7 of 9 from the field in the second half, including 3 of 4 from three-point range. The sophomore guard finished with 32 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. Number 15 Missouri hammered Sacramento State 98-60. Arthur Johnson scored a career-high 24 points. The Tigers handed the Hornets their 39th straight loss on the road. Another runaway in Starkville. 24th-ranked Mississippi State mauled Alabama A&M 100-58. Timmy Bowers led the Bulldogs with 19 points. Mississippi State scored 100 points for the second straight game. Arizona remains the top team in the latest AP men's basketball poll. Texas is second, ahead of Alabama, Duke, and Pittsburgh. Then it's Oklahoma, Oregon, Florida, Maryland, and Indiana. In the NBA, the Mavericks won their 9th straight home game. Dallas turned back Toronto 113-102. Steve Nash sparked a key fourth-quarter run by scoring 7 points. He finished with 25 on the stat sheet. Dallas ran its overall record to a league-best 16-1. The Jazz stunned the Pacers 102-91. A double-double for John Stockton, 22 points, 10 assists. Indiana's Reggie Miller was held without a point for the first time since 1989. Indiana lost for just the 3rd time this season. Overtime in Arizona, the Heat beat the Suns 100-90. Travis Best paced Miami in OT with 3 baskets. Best forced the extra playing time on a game-tying layup with 37 seconds left in regulation. Best finished with 16 points. The Celtics got it done on the road. Boston beat Orlando 102-97. Paul Pierce was clutch down the stretch, hitting 4 free throws in the final 67 seconds. Pierce finished with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Knicks over the Cavaliers 125-93. Kurt Thomas scored 22 points, along with a career-high 6 blocks. Finally, in sports, free agent first baseman Jim Thome has agreed to a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. One baseball official says the contract is worth $87.5 million over 6 years if Thome passes a physical. And again in Monday Night Football, the Raiders knocked off the Jets 26-20. Jerry Rice caught the go-ahead touchdown pass. That's the sports page. I'm Steve Heine, AFN Sports.
If your travels take you through Austria or Switzerland, keep in mind you must buy a toll sticker.
You can pick these up at the border or various points before, like welcome centers, gas stations, or even hotels.
In Austria, you can pick up the stickers after the border.
Toll stickers are only required for major highways.
Do not get caught without one
or risk paying additional costs.
Again, you must have a toll sticker if you're traveling on major highways in Austria or Switzerland.
New job, new attitude, new me.
Hey, a new me, a new job, new attitude, yeah.
Civilian Human Resources Management Agency is your job connection. Update your resumes every 6 months and your status remains active.
6 months.
You're just a few mouse clicks away from the perfect job. Click on chrma.hq.usurer.army.mil. That's chrma.hq.usurer.army.mil.
Hey, Mike, can I talk to you a minute?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, do you remember how I told you about Petty Officer Cowles, how he touches me all the time in the office?
Yeah.
Well, I talked to our chain of command, and it worked for a while, but he started doing it again, and I want advice from someone outside of our office.
Try the Navy Advice Line. They can tell you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, but it's a long-distance call back to the States, right?
No, now it's a DSN number.
Do you have it?
Yeah, here you go. It's DSN 312-882-2507.
Thanks, Mike, for everything.
Anytime. If you're looking for it, we've got it in the classifieds. Check out your Stars and Stripes classifieds daily to find a job, order up, pet, computer, guitar, bike, or virtually anything. And make sure to check out the Stars and Stripes service directory to find the best deals on auto parts, flights, loans, and much, much more. Stars and Stripes classifieds. If you're looking for it, we've got it. However, the guitar lessons are up to you.
Good morning. It's 7:22 Central European Time. You're listening to a Tuesday edition of Morning Newswatch on the Power Network. Good morning. I'm Army Sergeant Hank Minitrez.
I'm Air Force Sergeant Steve German. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd, and on this day in 1828, Andrew Jackson was elected president. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday. You share your day with actress Daryl Hannah. She is 41 today.
Been a while since I've seen Splash.
I think I'm going to have to purchase that on DVD. Yeah, that's on like the top of my list.
Absolutely. Getting back into some military feature news for you now. The U.S. Air Force Services is giving away more than $200,000 in prizes to club members during their electrified membership drive. Specialist Andrea Sykes spoke with U.S. Air Forces in Europe's Chief of Business Activities, Mick Szymanski, about the drive.
The Electrified Membership Drive is the Air Force's worldwide event to promote the Air Force Club system. And one way to do this is by giving away prizes. What are some of the prizes you'll be giving away in Europe?
All new, current, and Psych Club Card members in USAFE have an opportunity to win 3 VIP trips to Atlanta for one of the Winston Cup Series NASCAR races. This includes round-trip airfare and the hotel accommodations. The tickets to the event, the winners will have a chance to see and meet the Air Force NASCAR driving team and visit the Air Force pit. In addition, we have European Center Parks has provided 3 one-week stays at any of their European locations.
The 3 trips on the European resort, is that part of the AFRC?
No, this is exclusive to USAFE club members, either new who join now or existing club members. And we also have another grand prize is a X3 Ford Focus Coupe. And that's worth over $17,000 and provided by the Exchange New Car Sales Ford.
Earlier you mentioned the site card. What exactly is that?
The site card is designed for the people that are geographically separated, but it still gives them a chance to use and become part of the club tradition. They can come to special events when they go TDY. A club membership in the Air Force clubs is reciprocal everywhere in the Air Force.
How do people become members?
Well, it's very easy. They can go into any one of the Air Force clubs and fill out an application, and it's just that simple.
And new members are also getting some extra bonuses, aren't they?
We have a brand new program that just started 1 October. It's called Members First. And it began on the 1st of October, and 125 clubs worldwide changed the way they'd been doing business. The program provides for discounts on food and special functions and special treatment and exclusive offers. The focus is to enhance the value of club membership. What we want to show people is that it really does pay to be a member of an Air Force club.
What kind of things do Air Force clubs offer?
Air Force clubs is a tradition that allows for military members and their families to have a special place to go, to socialize, to be entertained, to enjoy great meals, and participate in fun events.
When is the drive going to end?
The membership drive will continue through 20 December, and the drawing for all the prizes will be the week of January 13th.
Once again, airmen can go to any Air Force enlisted or officer club to fill out a membership application. Special thanks to Andrea Sykes for producing that interview for us. Over to Steve now.
Thank you, Hank. Military policemen spend the day at Basa Bunar Range in Bosnia, training, learning, and sharing information with Tuzla's Special Weapons and Tactics team. Specialist Kirk Wilson has the story.
SWAT teams train and operate to respond to extraordinary situations. Situations like civil unrest and hostage scenarios. S4 soldiers test their firing skills on the range with members of Tuzla's SWAT team. Army Staff Sergeant Scott Haymaker explains.
We decided that it would be a good idea to have some sort of joint training, seeing as how most of the MPs that are here are also police officers back in the States. We thought it'd be a good idea to come over, look at their training, see what they're doing, and maybe be able to take some training ideas back to the States.
This group of Tuzla policemen is the equivalent of a U.S. SWAT team. The long barrel weapon they carry is the AK-47. They give S4 soldiers the chance to fire it along with the handgun they carry, the Glock.
It builds rapport between the local police and the military. It builds camaraderie between the two nations as far as police work with S4.
Joint training between S4 soldiers and Tuzla's elite police force builds trust through teamwork. an important mission anywhere. Reporting from Eagle Base Bosnia, Specialist Kirk Wilson, Task Force Eagle, Public Affairs.
Employees at the Defense Finance and Accounting Service will soon have a newly renovated home in Germany's Kaiserslautern military community. Specialist Emily Adams caught up with the director, who says the office consolidation couldn't have come too soon.
To us, it means bringing together all of our accounting operations into one facility.
DFAS Director Joan Causey explains renovations on Building 3200 will alleviate a lot of work stress.
Right now, we're spread out on Claber Concern between 3 big facilities.
It's just a short walk between buildings.
But it makes it hard to sort of work issues. So I've got part of my accounting down here, down the road, down the hill, and the rest are up the hill.
It's nearly impossible for everything and everyone to be in the same place at the same time.
The documents are over here and the people are over here, so it makes it a challenge.
270 employees move into their new office by the end of next summer. Reporting from Kaiserslautern, Germany, Specialist Emily Adams, AFN News.
Overseas military installations are gearing up for this year's tax season and are looking for volunteers to assist in preparing and filing taxes. Petty Officer Denise Alford brings us this report from Sigonella, Italy.
The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Center, or VITA, provides free tax preparation services and electronic filing for service members, their dependents, and retirees. Sigonella sailor Petty Officer Ignacio Tesoro tells us why VITA is looking for volunteers to provide assistance during tax season.
It's a very rewarding thing to do, to help out your community. You'll get to step out of the box a little bit and change of environment. At the same time, this is a career enhancement. And the most important thing is it's a resourceful tool, knowledge tool that you can use for years to come.
Whether you know a lot about taxes or not, Tesoro says they'll supply you with all the training you'll need.
We'll be providing training for the volunteers, 1 week training, then another week training on using the software.
Last year, the Sigonella Tax Center generated 2,300 returns and saved over $168,000 in tax preparation fees. Petty Officer Denise Alford, AFN News.
A little noticed provision in a new federal education law is requiring U.S. high schools to hand over some key information to military recruiters about its juniors and seniors, namely their name, address, and phone number. The Pentagon says the information will help recruit young people to defend their country. But the new law disturbs parents and administrators in some liberal communities that aren't exactly gung-ho about the armed forces. Some say the law violates students' privacy and creates a moral dilemma over the military's don't ask, don't tell policy on gays. The No Child Left Behind law, signed last January, pumps billions of dollars into education, but it also gives military recruiters access to the names, addresses, and phone numbers of students in 22,000 schools. The law also says that schools must give the military the same access to their campuses that business and college recruiters enjoy. It's 1:30. Time for headlines.
30 minutes past the top of the hour of AFN's Morning Newswatch continues. Good morning, Europe. I'm Air Force Sergeant Steve German alongside Army Sergeant Hank Minitrez with a look at your headlines. U.S. warplanes bobbed an air defense site